Good morning.
Good morning. It is Wednesday, May 10th.
It's finally Wednesday.
Finally Wednesday.
Yesterday there was a rash of everybody going, wait, what day is it? It can't be Tuesday. It's not Tuesday. Why is it Tuesday?
It's been a really long week. It's Tuesday. So, that's the way it goes sometimes.
Yep.
Meet me, O Christ, in this stillness of morning. Move me, O Spirit, to quiet my heart. Mend me, O Father, from yesterday's harms. From the discords of yesterday, resurrect my peace. From the discouragements of yesterday, resurrect my hope. From the weariness of yesterday, resurrect my strength. From the doubts of yesterday, resurrect my faith. From the wounds of yesterday, resurrect my love. Let me enter this new day aware of my need and awake to your grace, O Lord. Amen.
Amen.
So, we're supposed to talk about 1 John today.
Yep.
So, what do you want to say about 1 John?
It's written by John,
Written by John. Very good.
as far as we know.
We're in chapter 2, verses 12 through 17, correct?
That's what I've been looking at.
And so we've got we have a couple of things here going on. First of all, John seems to address three different groups in the church. I am writing to you, little children. I am writing to you, fathers. And then I am writing to you, young people. And what I think what's traditionally understood with this is that these are not biological ages so much as maturity in the faith ages, first of all. And trying to stress certain truths to certain people depending on where they are. And in the Greek, you're going to deal with the children is a neuter term. It's a gender neutral term. What is here as young people is actually young men.
Okay.
And then fathers. But I think that we also should not see John as excluding women from what he's saying, which is what you get with that translation of young people. But the word for father is just the word for father. It's really hard to press that one in anything else. But I don't think that should be excluded. And so we kind of go around the room of things to, hey, don't forget this, that there's not a stage in our walk with Christ where we say, oh, there's nothing left for me to learn.
Well, yeah, and it's a message to all of them. You know, there is nobody that can sit it out and say, oh, this is not for me.
Right. Another thing that I think is important here, there's a time and a place for private instruction. And certainly there's a time and a place for private correction, especially small-scale error or error only known to a few people should be corrected privately, but the rest of that's a bigger discussion. But we sometimes think, well, we shouldn't teach those various stages of faith growth in the same room. This is we have our advanced class, we have our intermediate class, we have our beginner class, and we don't. While there are times to say we want to put all the beginners over here so that they don't get discouraged at what they don't know, and we want to put our advanced over here so that they don't get bored by going back over things. John puts them all together, and I think that we should see that there is also a huge value in working through everybody together so that this group knows what this group is supposed to, has heard what this group is supposed to be learning. And this group is reminded of what they learned when they were in this group and that type of thing. And this is what we try to do. We should be trying to do in things like whole church teaching, when we do sermons and that type of thing. For example, this Sunday, the sermon will talk a decent bit about marriage. Not everybody in the room is married. Some people will be married. Some people will never be married. But it doesn't hurt for single people to hear what God has to say about marriage as much so that they can kind of help keep married people accountable. Are you doing what you're supposed to be doing? So I think there's some value in that.
Sounds good.
Anything else?
Not really. Like I said, I've been looking at this all week, but I haven't really had much insight.
The second paragraph, do not love the world or the things of the world, and making sure that you love the Father and not the world. And then the world and highlight the desire of the flesh, the desire of the eyes, the arrogance produced by material possessions, has traditionally kind of been understood to be the formula for this is what we know temptation is. Mm-hmm. And you've always got to be careful if you try to reduce something to just that one phrase, but it's a good explanation of that. When there's, and other translations other than the net will actually use the lust of the flesh and the lust of the eyes and the pride, and the pride of wealth. And so just to watch out for those things where it's, I see it, I want it, I take it, mm-hmm. is usually a bad behavior. So.
Yeah, I think this passage, it's pretty straightforward. So
it's one of those, it's just pretty straight up, and maybe there's something to be said there about don't mystify that which God has been straightforward mm-hmm. with. We do sometimes try to do that, especially if it's hard. The world is passing away with all its desires, but the person who does the will of God remains forever. That's actually a little harder on us than we like.
Yeah.
Because that's, hey, guess what? You're toast. If you're in trouble, mm-hmm. and this is written to the church. So this is not pointing out, hey, church, be grateful that everything's going to be fine for you, because you're the church, and all those bad people outside, God's going to get. This is talking about cleaning house inside. So.
It's really no different than what the Jews went through. Hey, just because you're Jews doesn't mean you're safe if you are not accepting the salvation that God has sent.
Yep. All right. You want to read the next passage to us? That'll be our...
Sure. Let's see. Do we want that whole section or just a paragraph? Or...
Why don't we just read the first paragraph there.
Okay. So we're going to start in verse 18. Children, it is the last hour, and just as you heard that the Antichrist is coming, so now many Antichrists have appeared.
Ooh, the Antichrist.
We know from this that it is the last hour. That was 2,000 years ago. Anyway, they went out from us, but they did not really belong to us. Because if they had belonged to us, they would have remained with us. But they went out from us to demonstrate that all of them do not belong to us. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for today. Thank you for the beauty of your presence. And I pray that we will focus on you and on love for you and share that love with the world around us. In your holy name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.